Hey YouTube, Kira Qualia here, bringing you all my Cardfight Vanguard Mythical Beast Genesis deck profile for post Divine Lightning Radiance. This is the next deck in my lineup from all of the Divine Lightning Radiance booster set, focusing on the Genesis deck of the set, or at least one of the many different Genesis support we have in the set, being Mythical Beast Fenrir. This was another G-Series deck remade for the standard format. A really interesting deck that focuses on a sort of Stride-like performance where Mythical Beast Fenrir evolves into its Stride counterpart, which was Vanguard, remade into a grade 3 for standard format. I actually gathered up a good amount of this support, more than I thought I did, after opening up all my boxes and the sneak preview packs of the sorts. So I thought, why not bring you all my take on the Fenrir decks. Let's go ahead and get started with the deck profile. So for the grade 3s, ideally I do want to run 4 Mythical Beast Fenrir, with its axe skill on Vanguard being once per turn, Soul Blast 1 or more cards, search your deck for up to 1 card with the same grade as the sum of those grades of the card Soul Blasted for this cost, reveal it, put it into your hand, shuffle your deck, and call a card from your hand to rear. And on Vanguard, once per turn, when your card is put into your soul, into your drop zone, you counterblast 1 and call one of those cards to rear. So it's a once per turn, which I remember the original Fenrir, I don't believe it was a once per turn. As long as you had the counterblast to use, you can call more and more cards out from your soul to the rear. But this one, it's a little more controlled for standard format, of course, giving you call consistency with both of these different skills. But also when it attacks, you soul blast 1, and this unit gets plus 10,000 power until end of turn. So you definitely do rely on the soul a lot in this deck with Fenrir, basically relying on all of it for all 3 of its different skills, basically using it for calling out cards, searching for cards, and giving this card power. And being a force deck, you can rely on that power along with Imaginary Gift Force 2 for the extra pressure of the additional critical against your opponent. I have the 1 Eternal Goddess Iwanaga Hime with all the soul build-up power, another useful card to run until you can get your copies of Fenrir for the deck. With the last grade 3 you want to run in the deck being the Stride counterpart, Mythical Destroyer Beast Vanguard. On Vanguard or rear, when placed, Soul Blast 1, choose one of your opponent's rear guards and retire it. If this unit's on Vanguard, choose all of your opponent's rear guards of 1 guard instead of 1 rear guard. So it's a true powerhouse of a grade 3. And on rear, at the end of the battle, attack to Vanguard, put this unit into your soul, look at 3 cards on top of your deck, put 1 card from among them on top of your deck, and put 1 card from among them on the bottom of your deck, and put the rest into your soul. So you can basically rely on Vanguard for either additional rearguard backup support or for the soul setup that it was meant to do, but also a powerhouse on your opponent being able to take out a good amount of their rearguards depending on where you place this card, whether it be your Vanguard circle or your rearguard circle. And the fact that this card also has Imaginary Gift Force means that you can consistently ride it until you can basically call out your Vanguard, which is your ideal go-to Vanguard target in the deck altogether. And that is it for the grade 3s. We'll now move on to the grade 2s. I actually didn't have too many of this next grade 2, but it is Unappeasable Biter Gleipnir. On Vanguard or rear, when placed, counterblast 1, soul charge 1, and choose a card from your soul and return it to your hand. It's search power, giving you resources from your soul for more important cards that would definitely be better off in your hand to use. And on rear, when it attacks, you soul blast 1. This unit gets plus 10,000 power until end of turn. So just like its grade 3 counterpart, Fenrir, it has the 10,000 power boost power to rely on, but giving you more of a search basis with your soul using this card, since you basically soul charge plenty in this deck, being able to have search targets with all that soul. If you soul charge something you regret, you can easily add it back to your hand using your Unappeasable Biter Gleipnir. I also have the normal order just as a substitute spot for this card, but the more you get of this, you want to take out more of the newest one, which is Aspirations of Limitless Power, and add more of this, because you definitely do want to run 4 of this card in the deck, being a very, very useful staple altogether. With our next grade 2 being our White Phosphorus Sorcerer, Revoluta. On rearguard, when placed, counterblast 1, reveal 3 cards from the top of your deck, put 1 card from among them into your hand, put the rest into your soul. So with it, it's set up once again. With the 3 cards on the top of your deck, 1 going into your hand, and the rest into your soul, it's just an easy soul charge power on rearguard. With the counterblast that you have to use, you can use this card, just when placed as an easy place, and then have the 1 card into your hand, 2 in the soul. That's more and more set up for a bunch of different cards, whether it be searching back cards with your either Gleipnir or Soul Blasting cards, and then calling out cards with Fenrir also. And then for the last of the grade 2s, I also run 3 Falling Star Sorcerer Vine. On rear, when placed, you discard a card from your hand, choose a normal unit from your soul, and return that to your hand. So just more setup. If you have too many trigger units in your hand and you need a more preferred normal unit from your soul into your hand to use, let's say either for a ride target or even just for better rearguard setup, you can rely on your Falling Star Sorcerer Vine for that setup. It was just a good backup if you're looking to stick more towards this booster set, especially having all the grade 2 lineup come from this booster set makes it a definite viable source for just another good rearguard backup. Gleipnir will provide the main go-to ride target, since your other 2 grade 2 ride targets mostly focus on rearguard plays. And that is it for the grade 2s. We will now move on to the grade 1s. I can't believe I actually got a complete playset of this, but it is Mythical Beast Skull. On Vanguard Rear during your turn, if you Soul Blast for the cost of your card, this unit gets plus 5,000 power, which you're going to do most of the time during your turn anyway, so you should always have the plus 5,000 power for Mythic Beast Skull, but also just being the generic grade 3 search power for this deck, being able to search out for the preferred grade 3. Like I said, most of the time you want to go for your Fenrir ride target. You can have Vanguard as a option just if you need to eliminate more and more of your opponent's rear guards, but Skull can easily set that up for that search power altogether. With the next of our grade 1s being Mythic Beast Hati. So Hati and Skull, once again going back to Norse mythology with these 2 cards, chasing the moon and sun. I really do like that they brought these cards over again from the G-Series into standard format. On Vanguard or Rear, during your turn, if you Soul Blast for the cost of your card this turn, this unit gets plus 5,000 power. So just more plus power for your grade 1 units, adding additional support to your other units, whether this card boosts or attack on its own. And on Vanguard or Rear when placed, you soul charge 2. That's why I'm running 4 of this card. Just having all 4 of these as a potential soul charge gives you a full lineup in your soul to use with your opponent and their lineup, depending on having the resources for Gleipnir, Fenrir, you name it. This card is great at a 4-of for sure for that playstyle. And I also, for the last of the 4-ofs, run 4 Supportive Sorcerer Communis. On Vanguard, when placed, put a card from your hand to your soul and draw a card. This is easy and a good potential ride target along with Hati and Skull. So that's what I like about these newer decks. We're having more and more grade 1 ride targets to use, and Communis is no different. And on Rearguard, when placed, you can soul charge 1. If your Vanguard is grade 3 or greater, you soul charge 1, and one of your Vanguards gets plus 5,000 power. The additional Vanguard plus power, like I said, works very well because I do prefer to use Imaginary Gift Force 2 with this deck, giving the additional critical to my Vanguard and other rear guards for pressure. So being able to rely on Supportive Sorcerer Communist for this power is a big boost for sure. And then lastly, for the grade 1s, just 2 of the Swadella of Loving of Spices. With this card on rear when placed, rest this unit, and until end of turn, one of your Vanguards gets plus 10,000 power and reduce the next cost of its Soul Blast you pay by 2. It's just a preferred preference of mine for the last grade 1 spot. This can be plenty of other sources for a grade 1 lineup, or you can even take away the grade 1 spot and add in your Iwanaga Hime as additional grade 3 spots when you have the 4 lineup of both Fenrir and Vanagander, and that's just player preference at that point, but still just my final spot for the grade 1s. And then for the grade 0s, I run for the starter, the most adorable starter we have in the whole set, which is Incipient Longtail. When rolled upon, you draw a card. If your opponent's Vanguard is grade 1 or greater, you gain the Quick Shield ticket. So pretty standard for the updated text for your standard starters. And for the trigger lineup, I decided to go with 12 critical for this deck, just very much pressure for all of your attacks. So I run 4 Cyber Tiger and 4 Mercury of Gravitas. With our critical trigger, I only had 2, sadly, but you definitely do want to run 4. Stake Fetter Viti for the critical lineup, just the Sentinel spot as well, but like I said, I only had the 2, so I have the 2 draw trigger from the set as replacement until you have the full playset lineup. And lastly, the 4 heal trigger being Asclepius of Full Recovery, just the newest heal from this set as well. I do prefer the previous heal, just more readily available with the newest one from this booster set to use in this set. But that is it for the deck profile. I hope you all enjoyed the video. Like I said, definitely enjoying working on all these different decks from the Divine Lightning Radiant set. I also plan to be working on a few budget decks from the set as well, so definitely look forward to those. But until next time, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, and Kira Qualia out.